right, welcome back, everybody. How are you doing, Addie? How are you, Amber? What's up, Six? I hope everybody's having a great Monday so far. We've had quite a bit of price action over the weekend, which we did not miss out on. I would like to say in the Discord community, we were able to take longs on Bitcoin, Fetch, PEPE, Zcash, and a couple other coins, all of which have performed really well. And this was based off of our basis of Bitcoin breaking 74.1K, being the gateway to the liquidity path to the 90,000s or more if we're lucky. So today's stream goals are going to be break down Bitcoin, break down Ethereum, and then move into your altcoin requests. All right, so let's get this thing going. The very first thing that we're going to talk about here on Bitcoin is going to be our daily price action and pathway that we're looking forward to the upside. We see that price action is chopping its way up this ascending channel. It received what everybody saw as a bearish inverted hammer candle that retraced 90% of the previous local high. Everybody ran for the hills and expected shorts. Us in the Discord, we said no. Let's keep staying long biased, guys. Let's keep looking for the green. Boom. We ride it up. Bitcoin attacked the daily bull control zone that was left behind at the 50 EMA at 72,829 like it was nothing. And then proceeded to smash out the local highs. And now I'm biased to look for price action to explore the top of the base channel. We can also note that in confluence with the top of the base channel that we have liquidity that was left behind here on the daily chart. So traders should be biased to the upside as long as we hold local invalidation, and we'll talk about that during this stream so that we can continue to monitor this for higher highs and higher lows. Yes? Let's see who else. We got all kinds of people popping in the stream. What's up, Mohammed? Haven't seen you in forever. Hope you're well, sir. What's up, Stank? What's up, Chronic? Back in the house. What's up, B? I hope everybody's doing really well out there. Let's keep breaking down Bitcoin. So again, first I want to talk about, now that we've broken this level, what we could consider as our bullish paths. And we're going to break those down really quickly here. We won't get too far into the mumbo jumbo of what is Elliott Wave. And we're just going to move through this quite quickly, so bear with me. And do remember, the most positive thing that you can take from this stream is that it's a learning stream and not a trade call service. Yes? So our first area of interest here is going to lie at the golden pocket. Yes? Traders are looking for us to get up to this zone and potentially move through it as an expansion. So we'll talk about the couple of different ways that we could see price action even possibly make a new all-time high for Bitcoin, right? So if this was a WXY to the downside, we would look for this as three waves within an A wave, looking for a B wave that needs a 90% retracement. That is $116,222. Now, the most common expansion or B wave motion is to move into the expanded B wave pocket. That comes from 1.236 to 1.382. That value lies around 150,400 to 167,700, after which we would look for a C wave to the downside that would most likely take the possible lows of A as the most common path that we see in Elliott Wave, yes? So this is why I bought Bitcoin spot and why I'm going to be hanging on to it. When I look at this setup, I see a minimum pull to get us up to the golden pocket. For spot positions here on Bitcoin, that's a 51% move, guys. If we're talking about the minimum retracement in a 90% B wave, an Elliott Wave, that's an 84% motion. And if Bitcoin is possible to pull off the expanded B, that's 140% to 166% return on investment for traders, right? So that's the WXY scenario, and I'm just going to place a pathway tool onto this chart so that you can see what we would be looking for, right? So we would look for some sort of three-wave motion. that moves up to a minimum 90%, if not the expanded B wave retracement. So I'm going to delete this so we don't mess with our minds. And then we could also look at this as a potential 5-wave motion to the downside. Though the wave 4 was quite long in this process, it's still okay. Now I'm going to draw a pathway of what retracement might look like on this. And then I want you to really focus on the confluence in the paths, right? So that's going to be what's most important. And these two paths are the ways that Bitcoin could retrace bullishly. And because of this, they both give us that confluence up into this golden pocket region. So I'm going to continue to stay bullishly biased as long as we hold the lower time frames. Guys, if you're getting value from the stream today and you're enjoying it, please do go smash up the like button, share this with your friends, and comment on the stream. It really helps us get seen in the algorithm. Let's keep moving into this. So this is where the bulls are going to be looking at for their low time frame invalidation. Let's delete everything so you can just see clearly, yes? When we look at this motion towards the upside, we're going to go a little bit lower into our time frames. And the first bullish pathway that we want to talk about is the what if this is a wave 1 into a wave 2, and a wave 1 into a wave 2. Now you would be looking for what? 3s and 4s, 3s and 4s, and a final 5th. Yes, so that's how this move could get quite expansive to the upside. Now, to do this, the price action needs to continue this motion that it made off of the center line resistance when we flipped it to support and built an 8-hour tail bar candle off of it. After taking out the local resistance, Bitcoin needs to proceed to break out of the base channel and find support on top of it to continue the bullish pathway to the upside. So this is going to be your critical support that you're looking for in the potential bullish pathway to the upside. Bulls do not want to see, we're going to go here. Bulls don't want to see 70,236 lost. If that's lost, we'll lose the look of the potential 1-2 stacking on the lower time frames, and we won't be able to aim for these upside targets anymore. Yes? So what bulls are looking for is the potential that this thing keeps stacking up the stairs with higher highs and higher lows. It gets out of the base channel and starts moving into the math of the larger move, which, as we can see, you go to the ultimate low, you are already past the corrective extensions, right? Minimum impulsive extension for this inside leg would be 75,756. I think that you are going to see this as a potential wave 1 into a 2, and then break out in a 3, 4, and 5 within wave 3. Yes? So at that point in time, I'll put some labels on here to help your mind, because boy, does Elliott Wave is the most confusing thing, guys. So don't tackle it alone. Come join a group of like-minded individuals so that you can get through this a lot easier, yes? This would go here. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 within 3. Okay, now it makes sense. So what you're going to be consistently looking for is these 1-2s to play out into 3s and 4s. The thing to remember about 3s and 4s is that these candles should be long-bodied, engulfing, big old green dildos, right? And then you should get another one, until you reach kind of these target zones. And then we look for 3-wave counter-trend pullbacks, 3-wave counter-trend pullbacks. And those are opportunities for the upside. Guys, if I'm very curious if you could in the chat, if you're a bullish, just type a 1. And if you're a bear, type 2. I'd love to see what you guys got if you are bulls or bears out there and kind of what you're generally thinking. But overall for right now, like talked about, we are going to continue to focus on this we break the highs, we get into this 90K box, and that target box goes from 87,000 to a 101,000, guys. Now, what we need to remember is we really need Bitcoin to hold in validation. That's $70,236. As long as invalidation is holding, Bitcoin is looking for a $90,000+ move. Yes? If anybody has any questions, do pop them in the chat. I'm going to clean some of this stuff off my chart here, and we'll keep our original pathways because that's all we're worried about. And that is essentially everything that I had on Bitcoin. Now, the thing that I want to also show you is the moves that we've been making in the Discord community. Okay, so really quickly, let's do a little Discord glory shot breakdown. So this was Zcash. In the Discord, we gave a trade call. I don't often do them, but we had a lot of action this weekend to play off of. This here is a standard W bottom in price action and technical analysis, right? So we have a sharp side and a rounded side, comes up to the neckline, breaks the neckline, back tests the neckline, makes it to the technical target, and blows that technical target out of the water, guys. So that's my first one that we had from over the weekend. So far, the Discord community has been riding this. It's right here. And they are up 11% on Zcash. The next trade that we took in the Discord community was PEPE. It's made a 23% move so far, guys. So don't be missing out on these things. Get in on the action. Same thing here on Fettuccine Alfredo, or FET as the kids call it. It has been making amazing moves to the upside. Stepped out of the base channel, found support on top of it, took off again. This move overall, we are up currently 30%, but overall we've caught a 37% pump on FET. So again, guys, don't miss out on these things. Come kick it in the Discord. That's where all the alpha's at. All right, so let's go ahead and move into Ethereum. This is going to be a good part of the stream for me. Maybe not so good for some of you who doubted the bullish motions on Ethereum. Let's put a regular base channel on it, and then we're going to zoom out and talk about the macro and why I own Ethereum in spot. Yes? So let's talk about it. You can see that we had a potential 5-wave motion up in an A or 1. We have shown this numerous times throughout streams, so you shouldn't be in the dark here, guys. Right? This was where we took our entry. We've been showing this in every live stream. Our minimum take profits for this is going to be the 1 line. Now, I want you to bear in mind that these extensions are shown on logarithmic. So a lot of times, your take profit zone on a 3-day, weekly, larger time frames like this needs to be done on linear, okay, guys? So far we have Ethereum breaking out to the upside, breaking out of a base channel on a 3-day and moving upwards. Our first area of interest is going to be $3,968 at the gateway drug 0.618. Our target box for this Ethereum trade starts at 5,300 and goes up to 6,697. Traders will be watching divergences on the RSI and the volume as we approach this area. But overall, guys, this little spot trade that we took here on Ethereum could turn into quite an amazing trade with nearly a 2x return on your investment. Yes? So it's really important, guys, that we be watching what these trades are doing, right? So we have tons of potential on the table for spot traders and leverage traders, with many of these trades not even hitting their targets yet. Yes? So if you guys have any other questions over Ethereum or Bitcoin, please put those in the chats. For now, I'm going to go review the chat, see what we got going on, guys, and we will move into the portion of our stream where we cover your altcoin requests. So if you are still here and in this stream, please get your altcoin request into the chat and provide as much information as you can so that I can give you back half-ass decent analysis. Yes? All right. So far we got a lot of ones in the stream. It looks like everybody's quite bullish. I like that Delta. Put a 2 for happy. I'm surprised we haven't seen old boy today. All right. Let me see. So far for chart requests, guys, it looks like we have JASMY and VELO. Let's write those down. We've been covering these quite often in the stream, so it should be fun, Stank, to see how those look now, sir. Hope you're doing well. Nice. Chronic, hope you're well, buddy. How's your week going? You want to see FARTBOY, and you would like to see Solana. Chronic, have you by chance seen my new FARTBOY short on YouTube that I made? Just 20-30 seconds of your time. Let me know what you think over there, Chronic, and we'll cover it for you here as well. All right, so far, guys, keep the chart requests coming. This is really good. Ted would like XRP. You got it, man. I've been covering XRP in the Discord, so hopefully you've been seeing it there. Also, Ted, it's been going amazing. We also have DJ M as an analysis over in our Discord. He's been covering XRP, so do give that a peek. He's been covering it really, really well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into these chart requests. Oh, B says he wants to see my favorite current altcoin. All right, so we'll save that for the end of the stream. Let me write that down. So if you want to see my favorite current altcoin, B, and anybody else, do stick around to the end of the stream. That's when we'll cover that. And for now, let's move into the chart requests. If anybody has any questions, please let me know, dude. That's why we're all here. I love chatting with you guys, not just covering the charts, okay? All right, so again, if you're receiving any value from the stream, go ahead and smash up the like button, guys. Let me know how you're liking the stream so far. And do share it with your friends. It really helps us get seen. Just a small fish in a big pond, yeah? All right, so let's look at JASMY. We've been talking about this as a potential spot play, and that we were looking to move up into the weekly take profit box. We've covered this in nearly every single live stream. We showed your bearish probability shift point at the local lows as a spot trader and where hard invalidation was. So far, the trade has continued marching up the bullish stairs. So for now, let's move this to the side so we can see it. So for now, I'm going to continue to stay biased towards that upside and towards these targets. Now, how these target lines are handled will tell us more as to whether this is an ABC or we get moving in a more impulsive manner. But do keep in mind, I will keep this all updated for you the best that I can moving forward. Each week I cover these analysis. Every Monday I do Bitcoin, Ethereum, and your altcoins. Yes? So do let me know what you got, and we'll cover it each week. But overall, I'm still bullish on JASMY and still looking for, from here, a minimum return of around 1,500%. Now, because these are weekly targets, again, I do urge you to please go consider these targets on linear. They will give you a little more realistic and keep you grounded in your investing. You will see that on linear, a spot trader is looking for still around a 900% movement. Yes, and that's our minimum target. So that's everything that I have for JASMY. Let's move over to VELO. We've been covering this as the USDT pair on Tether. So far, it has been going well. For this chart, somehow, some way, it does play better on logarithmic. Unfortunately, Velodrome for me has not gotten into, the area where I wanted to start buying it yet. So I personally don't own any of this one yet, but it may form a local pivot here and begin to move up. Just understand on VELO that your bearish probability shift point will occur at the 786 at 0.2234, and hard invalidation for this structure comes at the lows at 0.1018. Overall, VELO is looking for a minimum move to match its initial partner leg, which may have been formed in a leading diagonal in 5 waves that made an average percentage gain of 3,767. Yes? All right. It looks like we got Tau as a chart request and BONK as a chart request from 611. We will go look at both of those, buddy. Thanks for the chart request. Nice. Nameless Monster has been long on Zcash since 210. Is it reversal or just a bull trap? My target's 270 max. Sir, 270 doesn't even get you to my first target on Zcash, Nameless. I'll put Zcash down as a chart request that we can cover today, sir. But know that we've been covering it very in depth in Discord, and my members already have their targets to the upside, and have been riding this really well for quite some time now. We also show Zcash in a couple different streams, right? A week ago we showed Zcash, showed the setup. It's moved beautifully ever since. All right, so that's VELO. That's JASMY covered. Let's move on into FARTBOY. I'm really excited for the potential that we're looking at here on FARTBOY. All right, so let's show you why FARTBOY could be a big setup moving forwards. We're going to look at local invalidation here and the local setup and what we should be looking forward to the upside potentially. All right, when we're looking at FARTBOY, the things that we're looking at as big ticket items are going to be a potential swing off of the lows that moves into the target box from 1 to 1.382. Hard invalidation is going to be at these local lows at 0.7563, right? So from entry so far, which we talked about in a live stream, you didn't make a ton off of this move, but so far that initial move was a 7% move. Overall, still looking for 33%, right? So once FARTBOY can break above the resistance of the daily 50 EMA that is located at 0.8563, you can see how we've kept this as daily resistance, gang. We got to break this thing and go. As soon as it breaks, FARTBOY will be free. Right? And then we'll be watching our next area of interest at 0.9564 or the gateway drug to see reactions and see do we make it to our minimum first target of the one line with an amazing target of a push to 1.382 that is found at 0.12931. So overall, a trader may get lucky and may be able to ride this up about 54%. Yes? So do keep that in mind. All right. Boom. That's FARTBOY. What else do we have for requests today? We have Solana. Let's go look at Solana. So far, Sol has done beautifully. This has been a chart that I've been watching. I own it in spot. We've covered it in the live streams. We talked about why. Another thing I want you to look at here on Solana is the daily arcing of price action. Price action's arcing to the upside, pressing into the daily bull control zone, 50 EMA. Once it breaks this, it will attack the internal liquidity left behind in these zones and potentially roll the external highs. Let's zoom out and talk about why I'm a spot buyer on Solana and what I'm holding for, right? So on the weekly, you can see that we completed a 5-wave motion to the upside and then started to break down swiftly in a 3-swing motion. That 3-swing motion came to a corrective extensions of 1 through 1.382. We believe that the local pivot may be in. If it is, we can pull a retracement from the high to the low, and we can look for a minimum golden pocket retracement in a B wave. But because this was a 3-swing motion in an A, we look for a 90% retracement in a B wave of a flat. But most commonly, this B wave will likely expand the highs and give what? A new all-time high. It will get the people going, right? So if Bitcoin gives that path like we showed and highlighted here earlier in the stream, then fully expect Solana to be able to make the new all-time high. Maybe it only goes to the 105 retracement at 318, but maybe it moves up into the expansion box of 418 to 519. So the reason I was a spot buyer in Solana in the dip is because I was looking for a minimum retracement to the golden pocket. Then I saw this construction. And then I told myself, if it is a three-wave A, we may step up to the 90% retracement, which is a 230% return on investment, with the most common target of an expanded B going 450%. Quite amazing, I think, and a real big opportunity for a spot trader. So I do think overall, Solana is slated for upside until a minimum June 26th, so June 29th of 2026. So this is still a really good potential move that's on the table. Another thing traders would like to do here is get on a deceleration channel from high to the lows. The trader is going to want this motion towards the upside to get centerline reactions, retrace for an opportunity, and potentially push up to the top of the deceleration channel. Don't worry, Nameless Monster. Zcash is going much higher than 270, sir. It's all in the cards, baby. It's all in the cards. We charted this early on, man. That's why we were spot buyers of it, right? I really want to take the time right now to thank you guys for supporting me on this journey, for always showing up to these live streams, for keeping it fire in the chats, and for standing by me even though I'm just a small fish. We're hitting the big plays, and that's what matters most. So again, thank you guys. All right, so that's everything we have over Solana for right now. We'll update that price action as it comes every Monday, and we will also keep you updated in the Discord daily, if not numerous times a day. So on XRP, we were all getting ready for this thing to take off because we had 3 waves up and 3 waves back. Now we're looking for a motion that moves to the 1 through 1.382. That is located at $1.90 to $2.21 as our minimum target zone. Yes? For now, you can see many bullish things that XRP is doing. XRP has what? Arcing to the upside. Respect at the bottom of the daily base channel. Breaking the 0.382 extension. Breaking the daily bull control zone 50 EMA. This all is a perfect recipe to slate XRP to $1.90 to $2.21. So as a trader, this is an amazing ride, right? We've been watching it since early on in the Discord. So when we get up here, that's a 35% return, if not a 58% return. DJM in the Discord community gave a perfect entry on this down here around $1.20. Those guys who took this trade are going to be up 60% to 84% when we get to our target box, guys. So XRP could even become a runner. We could see an even larger reversal. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, that's everything I have on XRP for right now. Again, we will keep that one updated in the Discord. Let's go look at BONK on the lower time frames. You're going to need to consider the same theory here on BONK. We'll look at an older chart also really quickly. You'll have to ignore any liquidation wicks that appear on BONK because of this. I wonder who's got the oldest chart on BONK. If you guys know who's got the oldest chart on BONK, let me know. All right, so same thing we're going to try to consider here on BONK. This liquidation wick isn't beautiful. It gives freaking overlap with these highs. Not what traders really want to see, but great for a spot trading opportunity. And because of it being a spot trade, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Coinbase chart for this one. And what we're going to look for is the potential of this being a 3-swing motion to the downside and looking for the potential of a strong move up. Sorry guys, I could hear my cat at the back door freaking out. I thought she might have got one of the chickens today. All right, so let's keep moving on about how we would look for entry if you haven't made one yet. Let's check these lows, 888s. This is the lower low. And we will talk about how you would handle this trade moving forward. So we came into the 1 through 1.382, and this looks like 5 waves down and 3 waves up. What I would do as a trader is I'd put my base channel on BONK, go to your lowest low. You can see that we found support at the lows, and we need to move up and start retracing. So I'm going to put on my retracement resistances from high to low. And we're going to use my new style template so that we can see every retracement that is critical to be watching for in this bounce. Yes? We can see that our first target for BONK is going to lie at 914, aka the 0.236 retracement in this case. As a spot trader from here, that is still a 40% motion. Yes? So BONK may be behind the pack, but I believe BONK is in the Solana ecosystem. So we're going to have to get ready for Solana to move in order for the Solana ecosystem coins to move, guys, right? All right, so let's go look at this on an 8-hour and talk about how a trader could handle this trade. You are going to need some sort of invalidation for your trade setup. I'm going to say that you will have to, let's put these on, play this as a potential only 3 swing motion towards the upside. And I'm going to say that because of the 3 swing that starts this motion, it is not the best way to ever start a motion. Until proven otherwise, we have to label this as corrective, right? So Solana spot trader is going to be needing to see this as potentially these higher lows that it's trying to make here on the small time frame. You don't want to start seeing these lost, right? You want to continue to remain to hold those pivots. Hard invalidation is actually the low for right now. And you're going to be looking for a movement that swings up into the 1 through 1.382. You can see there's also internal liquidity that got left behind here on the 8-hour. You didn't even come up into the liquidity, and you ended the highs on bullish order flow. It's more than likely to push up into this zone and take that next level of money that was left behind. This lies really confluent with the 1.236. So a spot trader on BONK has all the opportunity here to try to capitalize on something. What you need to remember is you do not want to lose your local pivots. So that's a 10% loss, looking for a return on your investment of around 21%. Unfortunately, that risk to reward ratio is only a 2. I really like to get a 3, so maybe you hunt for a little bit better of an option on the lower time frames. But again, that's something that we can discuss in the Discord community, guys. But overall, that is BONK. All right, let's go look at TAO. This is not a coin that I look at often. I don't like the price action of TAO. It often feels quite scammy and bullshitty. But for now, let's go take a peek. This is not my favorite chart. Let's get an older chart for TAO here and see how bad that liquidation wick was on it. All right, so this will work now. Let's do this. If this was 5 waves up, which we now know that it wasn't because we took the lows, you're looking for this to be 3 swing down. So an A in 3, a B in 3, and looking for C to the upside. So because of this, I'm going to stick with that Coinbase chart that we were using. It appears that the Coinbase chart for TAO might have a better setup. And do stick around in the stream, guys. We're going to cover Zcash pretty soon. And we're also going to cover one of my favorite altcoin setups that's going to be setting up for this season. All right. So as a daily trader here on TAO, and where I think you should be, is pulling those extensions and seeing this as a 3 swing motion. For right now, it is trapped in the corrective extensions, and it is giving a hidden bear divergence on the daily that was confirmed yesterday. That happens when in a downtrend, price action was in a downtrend, the RSI is higher on its closures than it was on price action. Price action closures were here. These are lower, RSI is higher, hidden bear divergence. Not what we typically want to see when we start to think about reversals. But again, see the arcing? See how the price action is arcing and rounding to the upside, and then it starts displacing. The other thing that a trader should have noticed was the daily candle built off of the daily bull control zone 50 EMA. Again, that is a really bullish thing. So if Tau is getting volume, which what is it doing? Look at this volume. Rising volume with the move. You as a trader should be thinking that Tau could go the distance. Even though it has a hideous start here, we could see this flip into impulsive extensions to the upside. Now, if you're a trader who did not catch the move at all, great. Let it go. Don't chase it. That's how you lose your ass in trading, yes? So just get a quick base channel on here. And you can see we made amazing respects to the center line after 3 points of connection. Great respects to the top. And we're working these extensions really well. So now that Tau is outside of the base channel, these are my next targets. 316 followed by 407. We will talk about it more when Tau moves up into these targets, and we'll cover this more in depth at that time. But for right now, the traders need to be looking for continued motions towards the upside on Tau. Yes? And as always, I keep most of this stuff updated on the low time frames in the Discord. It's really hard to get on here and update you guys. That's nearly an amazing hit. It's really hard to get on here and update you guys on the lower time frames. I like to keep it as real time as possible. And with the Discord being full of paid members, it is just easier for me to do that. So as a spot trader on Tau, you're going to be looking for hard invalidation at 229, and we're going to be looking to make entries if this makes any sort of three-wave pullback. Yes, likely the three-wave pullback won't be very big, right? Unless it's to go with a higher degree wave 2, right? So this could be stacking in 3/4s, and you could see this continue to move to the upside. So any three-wave pullback on Tau that is resetting the RSI, like it is here, nearly making hidden bull divergence on the 4-hour with old price action, these are the ways that you get amazing entries and you catch the moves towards the upside. Yes? All right, so that's everything I'm looking for here on Tau, and we'll cover that more in the Discord. If anybody has questions, just pop in there and put in a chart request, and as always, I'll hammer it out. Let's move into the big dog of this cycle and how we caught this move and what we're looking for on Zcash. So first off, I want to show you the higher time frames on Zcash so that you can understand my trade idea. The reason why we were interested in this potential trade was that either we're looking for a wave 1 into 2, and all this is wave 2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 within 3, or you want to argue and say this is 1 into 2. I don't really care. It doesn't change the math a whole bunch. But overall, we were looking for a 792% spot gain on Zcash. Again, this is the weekly. We may need to keep it on linear just to keep our targets a little more realistic. In that case, you're looking to minimum take the highs of the wave 3 and likely move to $929, which is still a 300% gain. So overall, whether you're on log or linear, this chart still sets up for a whole lot of upside for the spot trader. Yes, guys? The initial target that you're going to be watching for here on Zcash is going to be that larger 382 on the weekly. That comes in around $816. If you're a Zcash trader, let me know in the chats that you are. If you're enjoying this content and you're enjoying this style of technical analysis, please smash the like button. It really helps the stream get seen by more people. So we've been riding Zcash for a little bit in the Discord community. It's been going really well. Let's go review those lower time frames now. I will tell you that this isn't the strongest start to something when we see these 3 waivers to the upside. Yes? So let's delete everything. And let's just talk about the local price action on Zcash, because that's what matters most to me, right? I don't know about you guys, but what matters most to me is where I'm going from here, right? In case we're wrong, in case they're giving you an ugly count, you should possibly assume that Zcash is set up for an 8-hour move. And I want you to put your base channel on eventually, once mine decides to be on, from low to the highs. This is going to give us amazing data points moving forward. And I want you to also place your target box for Zcash. That comes in at the 1 through 1.382, or $347 to $435 on Zcash. So this is how Zcash can go from a small trade to an absolutely epic runner. Now what else we're going to do is add our individual impulsive extensions to the move to the upside. And we're going to look for a minimum impulsive move, meaning that we make a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. But what I want you to keep in mind is it's likely that a wave 3 gets extended, and we end up looking for some sort of wave 3 to $329, a pullback in a 4, and a successive move up to maybe leave the base channel. Overall, this would only result in what would be known in Elliott Wave as 3 waves in A, 3 waves in B, and 5 waves in C. This would be a regular flat and Elliott wave. At that time, we would look for divergence within the construction of the path. So if we have 1 into 2, 3 into 4 into 5, we're going to look for divergences on price action, RSI, and volume. Yes? So right now, what does Zcash have going for it? Amazing volume coming in, right? Overall, a buyer's market. Yes? So do bear in mind that the 8-hour and daily spot trader are still really bullish on Zcash. Yes? Let's move into a 4-hour time frame, and let's talk about critical trade levels for the 5 waves moving forwards. I want you to get a base channel on your inside micro 4-hour move. Now, this trade may still take time to play out because it is on a 4-hour, but I promise you, she's going to get there. What we've been watching in the Discord was the amazing reactions here at the center line after 1, 2, 3 points of connection, after which we blasted out of the base channel and have yet to hit the minimum target of around $277. After which, we will look for successive strong moves to the upside where we end up with an internal count of 5 waves within 3. Traders can look for micro wave 4 opportunities here, or they can look for the 3-wave pullback there as an opportunity before another successive 5 waves within 5 where we would look for divergences on RSI and volume. Yes? So overall, Zcash still looking like a really good trade, still looking really good. All right, if anybody has any questions over that, please let me know, guys. So far, the stream has been an absolute banger. We're only at 43 minutes. If you got any other chart requests, get them in, and let's keep the party going. It looks like our next chart request comes in from my main man, Marco, and he wants to look at FLOKI. This is, again, not one that I look at often. Excuse me. Got a little burpee. Ate a massive breakfast burrito today. Filled up myself because I knew we were going to do this stream. So I am quite full to the brim. Been hammering the coffees too. So let's go low to high on this. And let's look at the data points. Hitting center line, hitting daily 50 EMA. Are you guys starting to see a trend? Yes, we are. Attacking center lines, attacking daily bull control zone, 50 EMA levels. This is how we start to flip bullish. Yes? All right, so the next things that we're going to continue to look at for this was, did you have divergences on the low on volume and RSI? Yes, you did, right? On the daily, your selling volume ain't for shit. And you made a divergence on the RSI. Lower closures on price action, higher closures on the RSI, divergence, I would almost like to argue, on any oscillator Let's go check the MACD histogram. You can see that as we moved lower here, the histogram began to diverge, even flipping green as we made lower lows. Histogram made high green highs. Signal line and MACD line both diverged here into those lows. Really good stuff to be seeing. So it really doesn't matter what the oscillator is that you're using, guys. The market cipher B gave an inverse head and shoulders with a momentum divergence, regular bull. Money flow peaked and gave the buy dot here. That would have came in here for you. So all these things are happening, right? The other thing that you should be noting is when you get a buy dot with a green RSI and a yellow VWAP that is testing center line, we're moving up, right? Especially daily and larger time frames. On FLOKI on the weekly, what do you see? Got the Aunt Judy booty, right? She has a regular bull divergence. She has VWAP coming up off the center line. I would have liked to seen RSI be green when this signal was given, but it wasn't. Money flow starting to curve up. So overall, FLOKI gave a weekly buy signal on the cipher B also. All right, let's leave our RSI on because that's my most trusted friend in this industry. And for now, your FLOKI fans are going to be looking for the same style movement that we talked about on numerous other coins, which is the 335 structure. So FLOKI is no different. It's just likely an ABC, right? So don't get too hyped up, everybody. This isn't like likely bottom is in, bull market's on forever type of scenario. A lot of these coins are going to be making internal liquidity grabs for the money that was left behind. And they're also going to be moving up in corrective manners in which don't typically lead to any sort of drastic, long-lasting effect towards the upside. All right, everybody. So that is FLOKI. Let's see what else we got, guys. Bop, bop, bop. That's the last chart I see. Let me go through the chats here one more time to see if I miss anything. Happy Building Block. How are you, buddy? Are you still here? Hopefully you're still here. Let me know in the chats if you are. It looks like you wanted me to look at Chainlink, HBAR, and ADA. I'm surprised you didn't ask about CRV. Surprised. All right, so the next thing we're going to cover is going to be for Happy Building Block. That is going to be Link. If you guys have any other chart requests, do get them into the chat and provide as much detail as possible. So I may be biased on Chainlink. I was a buyer right at like damn near on the money, $8, like $7.98. So, all right, I got one more chart request coming in here from Addy. It's AIOZ. Let me write that down for Addy. And these are all for Happy. Excuse my burp, guys. All right, so let's keep working our way through this. So I bought Chainlink around $7.98, shared it in the Discord community. It was an absolute banger of a trade so far. I know people in the Discord got in lower than I did, but overall, my spot buys are up 24.5%, which is amazing. Again, I want to show you some subjectivity that we're seeing in the chart, but it's across the board. Arcing leading to displacement, right? Also attacking what? Daily 50 EMA bull control zone. Now, the reason this chart is going to be important for us is because we were buying Chainlink for a potential 3-swing pullback. After a 3-swing pullback, you're likely to look for 90% retracement, if not new highs into the take profit zone, right? So that's how a small trade on Chainlink can become a really, really good trade. We've talked about this on numerous altcoins in the stream today. So let's go back in and look at relevant time frame price action. Chainlink hasn't even hit its first target of $10.42 yet. That's the 0.236 retracement. You're also going to notice Chainlink has an internal fair value gap left behind on the 8-hour there. So it has every reason to continue marching up these bullish stairs for Chainlink. Another reason why is going to be because your average consumer missed out on this pump, right? They had no clue what they were doing. They got left behind, and that's okay, right? You're not going to catch every single move to the upside. Let's see my reactions. That's amazing. So we have low to high, center line reaction, center line reaction. Let's see what we do as we march up these stairs. But for now, I'm staying bullish on Chainlink for a much better effect, yes? All right, so we covered that. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go to HBAR really quickly. I personally own no HBAR. I personally do not feel amazing about it. I think that you may get a little bit of a move to the upside also in a corrective motion, but I've had too many hard days with this chart. So for me, this looks like 3-3 and looking for 3 more to the upside. If you're lucky, it at least gets into this internal fair value gap left behind. But overall, HBAR is one that you don't really get me to be super bullish on, unfortunately. I'm just looking for a move to 1 through 1.236, which is still an amazing gain for this coin. But I do want you to understand that there is room for shenaniganizing here, meaning this could move up in an A, come down in a B, and then finally come up in a C. This could really get kind of bullshitty, right? More than likely, it will give an easy zigzag here. Instead, because of this possible leg that retraced shallow into the side. Very curious if you had a divergence here on the RSI. No. All right. So, but overall, yes, HBAR could see some legs up, but it's just not one that I'm really interested in chasing. Let's go look at ADA for you. ADA is going to be like basically every other play, right? Again, ADA is one that I own none of. I don't really have a ton of interest in because of its macro charts. Overall, you never had a divergence here. You did on the daily on a larger, so let's zoom out again. On the daily, you can see that you made a regular bull divergence with lower lows on price action, meaning the closures of the candles, and higher lows on the RSI, meaning you could see a potential reversal here. The problem is that the RSI is cranking up very quickly on the daily, making higher highs on the RSI, but not on price action. So until price action can break that psychological 0.30 cent level, it's in hot water, right? It's nothing but corrective for now in my book. Let's go ahead and stay on an 8-hour, I think will be best. Let's put a base channel on this move as a corrective motion and just continue to watch it in the Discord. This is not one that I'm looking to play, unfortunately. This is very choppy. It'd be very hard to sell it as a 335. You might even have to say somehow it ends over here, but overall I would keep my base channel just like this. Amazing center line reactions after. The trader should continue to just monitor it for swings to the gateway drug, moving into internal fair value gaps left behind in the chart, and the 1 through 1.382. Yes? So for now, that's all I really got on HBAR. I wouldn't go too depth on it or ADA. I would let those two go. Let's go look at AIOZ for Addy. Again, another chart that I don't often look at. So any time that we have a short journey to the upside that doesn't take very long, this might be depicted best with drawing, but you can see this move went really quickly to the upside, made a high, and then did what? Linger, linger, linger. Any time that motion of the linger after in the correction is 2 times longer than the ascent, it's likely to be an ABC of some sort, right? So likely an A. Maybe the B ends here, but maybe it ends over here and you're still looking for a continued breakout. You don't really want to get into the weeds of it because the math behind this is simple and doesn't matter. It goes from 0 to the highs to the lows as a 3-swing movement. looking for the gateway drug at 0.813 and take profit levels that I drew by hand on accidentally of the 1 through 1.382 at 0.981 to 0.1185. So as a spot trader, these people are going to be taking a risk that they don't want to see it lose the daily bull control zone of 6% and going for a swing of around 40%. So as a spot trader, this isn't horrible. This is an amazing 6R trade setup. If a spot trader just wanted to aim for the 618, also that would be okay. That's a 16% gain with a 6% risk, resulting in a 2.5 risk to reward ratio, which also isn't super horrible either. All right. Again, guys, if you are enjoying the stream and you're getting value from the stream, please smash that like button. It really helps people see the stream get seen. And again, at the end of the stream, we are going to cover my favorite altcoin that I'm going to be watching for. So do stick around for that. Stank, is Vapor a chart that you want me to look at, sir? Let me know in the chats. We got about 5 to 10 minutes left here, guys. So if you have chart requests, please do get them in. Let's go look at CRV. This was shown to you in the streams. It also came into our buy box, and I own a little bit. This was our first buy. Drop down into here, makes a long correction, moves up, another long correction. So far, this coin has not pushed up like the rest of them, right? For now, I want you to stay biased and do what you think is best, but my plan is to continue to hold on to the spot that I acquired and look for movement towards the upside. I do want you to remember that this was a weekly play, meaning 3 waves in A to the upside, 3 waves in B to the downside that comes to a 90% retracement, with spot buyers understanding this was, oopsies, with spot buyers understanding that that 90% retracement was only the first DCA zone, and that the main zone a spot buyer would be looking for is the 1.236 through 1.382. So I barely dipped my toes into CRV here, and we'll be waiting to see if we get more dips and holding cash for those levels. This will be me looking for the higher targets as a 335 flat here, meaning that we would need to construct a 5-wave motion that takes the highs of A as the most common target for CRV. So as a trader, CRV is still looking quite juicy. It just needs to start forming a local reversal. All right, the next chart that we're going to look at is Vapor for Stank. Oops, I'm typing this in the chat. Sorry, guys. So many screens going at one time here. How's everybody's week starting off? Any good? Vapor fun, sir. All right. This looks like we've looked at it before for some reason. Oh, wow, that's the EMA. I've never looked at it. All right. So let's talk about things that we may see as potentially bullish here for a potential reversal on Vapor. So what do you notice here? You got lower closures on price action and higher closures on the RSI. You have what? Declining sell volume. So you have a momentum divergence for Vapor. So what a trader is looking for here is, did we make a possible or potential reversal, and how could one get involved? So I'm not the best pattern trader, but I can tell you the basics of it. Yes. So this is what they call in the game a potential bull flag. Yes. And people would be looking for a bull flag breakout. Yes. So you put your pull on here and you're looking for around a 1-to-1 target. So as a trader, I typically like to use my extensions versus a random line on the chart. But overall, this is what we're looking for, right? So we're looking for a 1-to-1 replication of the pull technically, and a move to the 1 through 1.382. So on Vapor, this is a very high risk play. But do you see how it's consolidating to the side here? One of two things is going to happen. Either A, which is the Bart Simpson, punch up, choppy hair just like Bart has, a drop down, and then you'll get that move up, or consolidate sideways, RSI falling, and then you get the spring, right? So this is what I would be looking for on Vapor, sir. If you have any questions over it, do let me know. And as always, dude, come check out the Discord and I'll keep you updated in there. All right. That is all that I have for chart requests today. So for all the people who stuck around to the end of the stream, let's go look at my most favorite altcoin trade setup that I'm potentially eyeballing and what I am looking for going forwards. All right, so this chart was one that we played in the Discord community early on in last season. We wrote it up for around a 1,400% gain. I know that Happy Building Block, Addy, a lot of the folks that you see in here today are from the Discord community. They can vouch for this play. They can vouch for being given it early, and some of them even wrote it up to the Wave 5 top. Unfortunately, I did not. I got paid and got out. So I'm in the business of getting paid. I like to ride up a Wave 3 or ride up the displacement, which typically encompasses about 75% of the move. And then I like to get paid and get out of the move. All right, so what I'm looking for here on PEPE is going to be on the linear targets for the extensions. And we're going to be looking for what? A minimum partner leg of 5 waves within 1 or A. Yes, so this is my best altcoin play of the season, I think. And we're looking for a move into this box. So as a spot trader, I've made 1 DCA already. That gives me around 930% return on my investment. If not to the top of my target box, a 12,300% return on my investment. And if it becomes a wave 3, PEPE will return me 1,500% on my investment, and followed up by a potential final move of 2,000% to my wave 5 target. Now, I bought PEPE once. It was a small dollar cost average. It's not life-changing. If it drops again, I will buy 1 to 2 more times. Yes? So do keep in mind, this is the altcoin play that I'm looking for this season. If you have any question, guys, anything at all, please do ask. Please come visit the Discord. I'll be in there ready to answer all your questions. Trust me, I work weekends, holidays, when I'm sick, when my wife's sick. It doesn't matter. I'm there for you, right? You're my priority. So as always, guys, if you need anything, pop in, hit me up, and let's talk about it. Thank you all for your time today. If I could ask you to please go ahead and like the stream, comment on the stream, and do share it with your friends. I will go get this stream timestamped for you and everything set up so that you can be successful moving forwards. Thank you all for your time today, and I'll see you out there.